Week. Great week of practice. What's Koki? No, you can't start. No, you can't. Listen, you can't assume you're in the leadoff spot every day. Okay, that would give you a sense of you being the guy. Is he a good bunter? All right, throw out a bunt.
I guess I'll take Koki's question then. Update on Bernard Gooden and Jamari Butler and what they've been able to do, and what weeks has he been able to practice at all this week?
No, Whitweeks hasn't been able to practice, so we've listed him as doubtful. Butler practiced the last couple of days, and Gooden as well, so they'll both be. I don't know, what did we have him as? Do we have him as probable?
Butler available, Gooden probable.
Yeah, so I think we're updated, with that.
How are you guys planning for the weather?
I'm going to answer this question in a professional manner, because I'm a wise ass, and if I give a wise ass Boston response, you guys are going to take it 9 different ways, and I'm a jerk and all that kind of stuff. So here's what I'll say: we have used wet ball all week on offense, preparing for weather, and that's just simply using a water bottle, spraying the ball, and making sure that. If the weather is wet, we still have to execute, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So that was my good answer. I have shrimp. When I first came here, I bought some shrimp boots, expecting to go shrimping, and I haven't got a chance to do that, so I'll be wearing them on the sideline Saturday. That was my wise ass answer. That doesn't usually play very well. So I did a nice job with the answer, right? Thank you. Noted. Next. None? Okay.
You've coached with Mike Elko before. What do you make of the job he's done in 2 years at A&M up there?
Yeah, they're playing well. They're undefeated. And I think I've said this many times. What I'm impressed with them is how they've won, right? They've won by scoring more, playing great defense. And that's a testament that they've been able to play complementary football, right? When their offense might be struggling, the defense picks it up, and vice versa. And that's a mark of a team that should be ranked where it is.
With Texas A&M now being a permanent opponent, what are your thoughts on facing this team annually now?
Oh, I love it. I've faced them every year since I've been here, so this is just a normal occasion. It's tough to play there, and it's tough for them to play at Tiger Stadium. 2 teams that will compete hard, and I think it's going to be a great matchup each and every year.
We were talking to Ahmad earlier this week, and he just mentioned how a big focus this week for y'all defensively has just been rush lane integrity and getting back to y'all's standard, I guess, in the front 7. Just what maybe you've seen from those guys in practice this week that encourages you.
Yeah, it's heavily influenced, and they know it. They saw it, right? They've seen it the last couple of times. They did a really good job with Sellers, forcing him to go east and west instead of north and south. He ran a lot of yards going east and west. We have to do that and continue to do that. We didn't do a very good job against Vanderbilt with that, and so you can imagine that was a point of emphasis. You could hear that on the practice field every single day this week.
There's a lot of new faces on your side of the ball from this last season when you faced A&M, but is the results from that game last year and the things you walked away learning from something you talked about this week with the team as you faced a similar squad?
Well, I think there are 2 high points in that game. One, we did a poor job when they transitioned from a pro-style quarterback to a running quarterback. We didn't make the adjustment, right? And that cost us. And then from the offensive standpoint, we self-destructed. We turned the ball over, and you can't do that. When teams are closely matched, you've got to be able to adjust when we knocked their quarterback out of the game, essentially, and couldn't come back defensively and make the transition to a running quarterback. And then, as I meant, we made some mistakes, obviously, turnovers offensively. You can't beat anybody, Texas A&M or anybody else that you play in this SEC, if that's what you do in the second half, and that's what turned the game around.
With Marcel Reed, how have you seen him improve as a passer? He's really pushing the ball downfield more this year.
Yeah, and I think Koki, more than anything else, is last year he came in as a replacement, right? He wasn't the starter. And so, there's learning going on. You're not sure what he can do. They became more comfortable with him. And then him with the offense through spring and preseason camp as the number one, it starts to open up the playbook. And that's essentially what they've done. They've opened up the playbook with him.
Brian, I guess to follow that up, how much has Craver and Concepcion just really helped their offense really sort of, like we've said, just kind of open things up a little bit and sort of push the
Yeah, vertical passing game, right, is much more prevalent with those guys, and then run after the catch. Both of them bring that, and they have some similarities to our receivers, right, in terms of what they can do. There's a lot of similarities, but I think the difference from last year to this year's is the vertical threats. Everybody good? Koki, come on. You bunted the first time. I think you took two and hit the right. Let's go for the home run.
I wish I had more power. I didn't have a lot of power back in the day. With Owens and their ability to use Reed in the run game as well, I mean, how much does it just help them having that running quarterback where you have that dual threat with those two guys?
And again, you're 100% right in terms of what the issues are, but we knew those issues Sunday, right? And we've been planning, for what we have to do defensively. And it starts with you have to stop the run. They have, and we just mentioned, they have guys now that can push the ball down the field. So if you put an 8-man box there, you're going to get one-on-one down the field. So it's a chess match. Sometimes you got to show coverage. Sometimes you got to be able to play man on man and whip some blocks up front and win in the run game. You can't always stack it, and you can't always play soft because they're going to be able to run the football. So that's why they're number 3 in the country and scored 40 points in 2 out of the last 3 games, I think. So good. All right. Thanks, guys.